what is attacking versus not. I mean, our first thought, for example, with children is it's the scary man in the raincoat hanging out at the playground, but it's not. It's the father, it's the grandfather, it's the mom, a school teacher, a coach, the guy who, do they still have ice cream trucks? Because they did when I was a kid.
Yes, they do.
But it's, remember, oh my God, you'd run to the corner and yell,
Yes.
stop, with your 2 quarters,
Right.
for your drumstick. But
Right.
but nonetheless, and it's not creating a fear of all people. It's like your dad said, if a stranger says, get in the car, or I have a puppy, do you want to see it or want some candy? And your little
Right.
sister said no and took off. How hard is that to tell a kid?
Right.
But on the other hand, a stranger is less likely to harm a child. For example, at least 80% of child abductions are domestic related.
Hmm.
Somebody's, angry because of a child custody ruling or a divorce, and they grab the child and run. But do we hear about that on TV? No, we hear about the stranger,
Right.
which in turn creates fear. So really, when we're watching TV, we're looking at a big box of fear because that's the idea.
Right. Right. Man, I'm surprised you're not. I'm surprised you're not on the road every day. I mean, because you everybody and everybody should be reading your book, and anybody can benefit from it. I mean, it just I said to myself, man, I've got to interview her and I got to introduce her to my listeners. And now, you just verifying that time and time again how important it is, like you say, just to be aware. And your books are a tool to increase our awareness. Sis, I got a couple more minutes here with you. I could probably sit here and spend all day with you, but talk to me about a couple of the other books that you've written.
One of my books is called When Nashville Bled, and it's about serial killer Paul Dennis Reed, who murdered some folks in the Nashville area. I'm sure there have been more because he lived in several different states.
Mm,
That's because the victims of Paul Reed were never called by their formal names. They were always called Sarah Jackson, victim of Paul Dennis Reed. You know,
mm,
Angela, the victim of Paul Dennis Reed, and even their parents were known as, Jenna Jackson, mother Sarah Jackson, victim of Paul Dennis Reed. That is only a small portion of people's lives. These folks were funny, they were mean, they were great people to be around, they were moody. These were people, they were individuals. And I wanted to show them as individuals. And I wanted people to understand what a crime does to a family, to friends, to a community. And then in the end of that book, I discuss the treatment of people, victim survivors, victims in the legal system. For example, the perpetrator, Paul Reed, who shot all of these kids in the back of the head,
oh my God.
Robert Sewell's sister was testifying on the stand, giving her victim impact statement. Reed was sitting there winking and blowing kisses at her.
Oh
The
my.
man that shot her brother in the back of the head, point blank, and left him dying on the floor of a fast food restaurant for not much money, is sitting there winking and blowing kisses. But she is not allowed in a court to react to that.
Mm. And what was the name of that book?
And media, oh, I'm sorry, it's called When Nashville Bled. It's also
Okay.
available on my site, www.truecrimebook.net.
Okay.
And I also discussed how some of the media treated these folks. Sarah wasn't dead for an hour, and they're pounding on the doors and the windows at the Jackson home, screaming questions through the doorway. If
My
you
Lord.
loved the violence, the last thing they said to you was, bye, mom, I love you, see you tomorrow. And her parents just got the news. And now, only really so many minutes later, all these strangers are pounding on the door, screaming and pounding on the windows and asking, how do you feel? And can we have a photo? And just all kinds of, it's very invasive.
Mm. Oh my God. Thank God we have somebody like you who, helps us show these people?
Well, Corbin, actually, thankfully, we have somebody like you that is not afraid to say, I don't want this on my show because it's scary, or, people don't want to hear about this. They want to be, fun and happy. And that's fine. We can have a good time in life. We can enjoy life.
Yes.
There is a part of us that needs to be aware and educated.
Right, right. Keyword, awareness and education. Sis, I'm going to have to cut the interview here. I hope that sometime we can have you back on again and talk in more depth about some of your other books. I hope that's a possibility, because I know my listeners are going to have gotten a lot from this. And I'm saying to my listeners again, this is the one book you definitely need to get. I don't care where you live or how you live. And this is the one book you definitely need to ask other people to get. And this is the one book you need to gift to other people. Get one copy for yourself, get another copy for somebody else, anybody else in your life, Sis, thank you so much. Looking forward to talking to you again sometime. Is there anything special you're doing that's coming up with the next few weeks, or?
Oh my gosh, where to talk? I have a video series now called Best True Crime that's on YouTube. There's a link to that on my website, and where I go to different areas and interview different people about crime, criminals, how to be safe. And I also just started a page on the website where I'm partnering with Sonova Cantrell, another author, where we are listing all of the true crime related events on that page, so people don't have to go, all around. And one thing we do not allow on there is the lionization of criminals. So if you want to take a ghost tour, or you want to go to a crime convention, a class on crime prevention or true crime, it's going to be listed there.
Great. All right. Thank you again, sis. We will be in touch. Okay.
Thanks, Corbin. You got a great radio voice, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll be in touch, my sister.